$100,000 for a development project that takes under a month? Is that even possible? Absolutely. Let's talk about how much blockchain dev projects go for right now. First of all, industries go through what's called product lifecycle and adoption stages. There are 5 stages based on who has adopted a product. In this case, we can apply it to an entire industry, the blockchain industry. The rule here is the earlier the stage, the more rare the skill. Right now, based on who has the skill, my estimate is we're at an early adoption stage for the blockchain industry as a whole. Probably we're in stage 2, meaning early adopters are in it, but general public has no freaking clue about what's going on. Very few developers have any clue how the technology works. We know this because we're having issues finding enough developers for all the dozens of projects we have going on right now. You will also find this is the case for the whole NFT image craze that's going on right now. Not the NFT technology, but just the image part of it. NFT gaming is probably in an even earlier stage, stage 1, since nearly no one is participating in it at all right now. Whereas ICO launches had their peak in 2018 or so, you can still argue very few people learned how to launch coins properly. As such, it doesn't matter there are few launches now, since the blockchain industry evolved past ICO launches as a whole. This leads me to the following. To this day, to work with a good technology partner to launch a new standalone coin, meaning something like a Bitcoin, not something that is on the Ethereum network, but standalone, this will set a client back $100,000 plus. Even though all the technology is there, even though it's been done before, if you want to do it reliably with someone who has a clue, you'd need to pay serious money. My hypothesis on this is that the masses of cheap developers worldwide simply haven't caught up to the technology yet. This isn't WordPress development or HTML. You really need to understand a complex new industry to be a blockchain developer. We're too early in the adoption stage chart for it to be cheap work. What about the NFT drop? How much should you charge for that? The going rate currently to work with someone who understands security and can do the project properly end to end will be above $20,000. Here's where it gets interesting for you. My dear viewer, profit share is actually viable for projects like this since they can cut you in on the deal, give you an early access to the project as an owner. Since it's blockchain, co-ownership is very simple. If a project goes well, you can end up making tens of thousands of dollars on top of your fee. Let me break it down for you. A reasonable ownership structure for a project often includes 15 to 20% ownership for the team. That's if they use investors instead of putting in their own money. So if you get 1 to 5% as the tech partner for a project, the rest goes to the other owners. That's actually a huge chunk relative to the other co-owners. This means you can get paid $20K in cash and a percentage on top of it as the co-owner if you've done these launches before. They will not give you a huge percentage if you haven't done them before. Someone with serious experience in the industry can also co-found and co-fund a project, which would give them a much larger percentage. It would cost money up front instead of... So in my circle, the fastest growth of a tech partner or a blockchain agency, as we call it, I've seen our agencies at businessmatter.com get $200,000 in monthly profit at month 4 in business, which is insanely fast. It makes no freaking sense. In industries like mobile app development or web app development, this usually takes several years to get to on a monthly basis. This brings me to NFT gaming. This is a brand new industry and we still have limited data, but cheap projects for prototype games are going for $40,000 and above. I think this number is way too low and the data we have is from a brand new agency, from someone who has limited experience. Once we get some more data from our agencies, I think we're going to see 100K plus projects in terms of dollars. Right now, there seems to be mostly hype and very little substance in the NFT gaming industry, which makes sense. NFT is mostly about hype in its current form. NFT gaming is looking to become the first wide adoption real-world application of the technology, according to the info that I have. So I'm really looking forward to this. By the way, this has to be said, I think everyone watching this video will agree as well. These prices are completely insane and make zero logical sense. I've seen people edit a few hundred lines of code for a 5-figure sum. Obviously, this isn't going to last. Prices are bound to go down once the hordes of cheap developers start learning the technology and it becomes easy to learn for them as well. What I suggest to you, dear viewer, is to get into the industry now and make a name for yourself now. Not in 3 months, not not in 6 months. Time is of the absolute essence right now. We've seen the same thing happen with websites in the 90s, e-com stores in the 2000s, and some platform technology like Shopify 2-3 years ago. These days, you can go in an online shop and buy a template for $20 for a website. I'm certain this will be the case for blockchain tech sooner rather than later. So, should you get into the industry if it's short term, like I'm implying? Absolutely. Not everything is short term. The industry won't be short term as a whole. First, we had the ICO boom. Then, now we're experiencing the NFT boom. I believe we're 2 to 3 months away from the end of the current NFT bubble. Then we're likely to see a blockchain video game boom after that. After, we should start seeing mass adoption of some of this technology, the actual technology, not the image stuff, that the hype, right? Which is the same thing that happened with the dot-com boom in the early 2000s. Get in now while there's still uncertainty and start working on real-world projects, not just as a buyer, but a creator and service provider. I suggest you start offering services to get your foot in the door. For that, you'll need clients. Let's talk about that right now in the next video. Click the link in the description to see how to get blockchain development leads consistently. See you in the next video when you click on the link in the description to help you get blockchain leads so you can get your foot in the door and get started as a developer, as a freelancer and agency owner in the blockchain industry.